Welcome to another video, everyone. It's JawsMunch here. We are going to be taking a look at blueprints today, and this is something that I've been getting a lot of comments about, especially while I'm live, where people are wondering what on earth are blueprints, how do they work, and are they viable to use in a game? And so I've been doing a little bit of testing here, as you can see. Just messing around with the concept of blueprints, and we're just going to go over some of the basics for you guys so you can know whether you want to use them in your games or, you know, kind of decide maybe some different build patterns you could create for yourself. Obviously, this is completely customizable to your own personal preferences, but it is just a kind of like a way to get into the concept of blueprints and if they will be valuable to you or not. So we're going to just start out with basic frontline position. This is where I think blueprints could receive the most value and really help you maintain your frontline properly without very much actions per minute going into building your defense. And so what you could do is you could set up a couple different things right off the bat in a very structured manner so that it is pretty easy to just place and go and not have to worry so much about fiddling with it. So we're just going to go ahead and showcase how to use the blueprints and how to create them right off the bat. So first off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select everything that you would like to add to your blueprint. So for instance, we have our construction turret, we got our sneaky Pete, our overwatch tower, we have a dragon claw, and 3 walls. If I can select that last wall. Okay, it looks like it is not wanting to select. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we got all of our items selected. Then what you will want to do is come down here and click Save Blueprint. The hotkey for that would be Alt C would also be a fast way to save the blueprint, and that will save everything that was selected here. Now, what would be nice is this is how you would want to use them, is you could go to a constructor of any kind and press Alt B and a blueprint will pop up. You can also hold down Alt and scroll with your mouse and scroll through the blueprints that you currently have set up. So you can just kind of click and drag this anywhere you would like. After you press Alt B, that opens up your blueprint menu, and then you can hold Alt and scroll through, which is the faster way rather than reaching over to your keyboard and pressing the bracket keys. I mean, you could use that, but just Alt scrolling is much faster. So then you'll just position those wherever you would like to build them, and your construction bot will go through a pattern and place down all of those in the exact order that they were placed originally. So this could be really good at setting up a very strong defensive line across your front, and it can also help you just make sure you don't forget an aspect that is helpful at holding your front line. So sometimes, for instance, the radar jammers can be a little bit tough to remember. You could also even add maybe a radar defense tower or a radar tower right here, so that you get a better radar signature further out, and that way it's always built, it's always there, even if you are busy working on other things. So that could be a really powerful tool. Anyway, I have a couple different setups here that I've personally been thinking of that I might like to add to my own blueprint setup. One being this frontline tower defense. This would be really strong if you're using bots, especially just because the Overwatch tower has a little bit of a longer range, and that can help reach into the offensive a little bit better and help just maintain control of areas without having to struggle with maybe artillery quite as much, or some of the longer range like Whistler trucks and stuff. So I like having at least one Overwatch tower on my front lines. Another one that I was looking at using would be for T2, where you have a single anti-air, a radar jammer, and a couple con turrets, and then you could just save that to your blueprint. Select both a T1 con and a T2 con, and then you would want to go Control or Alt B. Sorry, I wish it was Control B. That might be a little bit better, but Alt B, and then it will pop up that blueprint. You could scroll through to the one you want, and then place that somewhere out on the field. And then another version that I had come up with. Now quickly, the reason why you want to select a T1 and a T2 con when you're doing a build pattern or a blueprint that has both T1 buildings in it and T2 buildings in it is that way your T2 constructor, your T2 constructor alone wouldn't be able to build the repair turrets back here, the constructor turrets. So you're going to want to also have a T1 con as well to get those build turrets built as well. So just make sure that whatever you're trying to produce, you select the proper units that are able to build it. Otherwise, they won't be able to build the full thing. So let's give it for instance here. So let's press Alt B, and let's try to just have our T1 or a T2 con build it, and he is not able to complete this blueprint because it eliminated all the buildings he was not able to build. Whereas if we grab the T1 con, we can position the same blueprint over and it will add those other buildings to it. So if for some reason you forget to select both, you can just match the blueprint up and it will place them both side by side. So it's something easy to fix if that becomes an issue. Anyway, another version I was thinking is having the anti-air right here, and then just a single pit bull pop up, and then the walls placed as well. So you're going to want to have a T2 and a T1 constructor to build that one as well. And this just protects the pit bull a little bit further with these T1 walls. T1 walls not taking too much extra damage, but they do add a little bit of defense for it. Now, where it really gets interesting is on bigger maps that you have lots of space, you could actually begin to build patterns like this with your economy, where you can scale infinitely and quickly without too much hassle on your side. So what you can do is you can get a ratio that works perfectly. So for instance, the advanced fusion reactor produces 3000 energy. These energy converters convert 3000 energy. So it's a perfect ratio of production to conversion for your energy production, and then you'll be able to have it just basically perfectly matched to what your economy can produce. So that will be really powerful. So Control B or Alt B, sorry, I would keep wanting to say Control B, Alt B, and then you could just place this blueprint wherever you want. And another bonus is that as you're doing this, it becomes harder to destroy your economy because of how spread out it is. So there's a lot of opportunity to protect some of your economy from getting destroyed, and it's much more difficult to get into it and do proper damage. You could even make different variations of this based on your personal preference, maybe adding a plasma shield to it if you want to get really particular and just help shield against maybe a later Ragnarok or some plasma cannons that might end up coming in and causing some issues later on. You could add all sorts of variations to this, but just keep this in mind. You could even do something cool like adding some wall defenses around your each economy section, so that there would be no, like, it would be a lot more difficult to do damage to your economy. So that could be a very interesting aspect of it as well. And it's really just up to your imagination on what you could do. Obviously, not wanting to quite do what happened here, making it so that our con turret or our constructor is stuck. But yeah, it's really up to your imagination on what you could do, and there's a plenty of different variations you could create that would be very, very quickly just to help you very quickly get out your economy, get out your front lines exactly how you want them, and just experiment with it and find out what you end up liking to do. Anyway, just once again, press Alt and then B to pull up that menu. Once you have your constructor selected, Alt B will pull up the menu. You could also come down here and press place blueprint, and then you can press Alt and then scroll wheel to sift through the blueprints that you do have already. So just keep that in mind. Experiment with it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys have maybe come up with some blueprint ideas and things that you found that work really well in your matches, and I'd be really excited to hear from you guys. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you guys on the battlefield.